How's it going? Sometimes we feel anxious. I know in the past couple of weeks since we met, we always have things that come into our lives, right? Life is not just like flatline. We have ups, we have downs, we have ins, we have outs. So I was just thinking the last time when I was feeling very anxious about something, what is the biggest thing when we're anxious that we want out of that is to have that feeling that we're back in control of what's going on. Because when I get anxious, and maybe this happens to you too, you might feel that you don't have control of almost anything, but in reality, you do. And I usually try to remind myself that this is temporary. It doesn't, it helps, but you're still right in the middle of it. So today we're going to be doing some things that when you feel this anxiety, and usually it's caused, at least in my world, by things that have either happened a long time ago, all right, or even just yesterday, and I'm still thinking about that, or something that is coming into the future and I'm anxious about it again because I don't know what the future is and I don't have control of everything that goes on. But I do have, and I'm working on myself and knowing that I have control of me. I might not have control of what's going on around me, but I can take charge of how I'm going to act and react to what's going on. So one of the things that when I am feeling anxious, the first thing that we can do is literally be aware of our body during this time. So one of the things that you can do is just take your hands and we're just going to put your chins like that. And just take a moment and your hands as they touch your face. The distraction is my hands are going to now touch my face. I can focus on my hands touching my face. And if it feels comfortable for you, you can close your eyes. Just notice your hands. Maybe the temperature of your hands as they're touching your face. It might be the same temperature. You might feel them a little bit warmer or a little bit cooler, but you're just noticing that. And this helps distract your mind from when you're right in the middle of feeling all of those things that are going on and thinking all of those things. Your mind needs something to do and the body is really ready for something else to happen besides all up here. So now by just doing this, you're allowing yourself to come back into you. And then you'll know when it's time to take your hands away. Some of you have already done it, so just let your hands come back down. And then you might notice your breathing. Another thing when we're anxious, again, these are things that the body, your hands have a lot of sensations in them, and so do your lips. If you've ever been thinking sometimes, or when you're really concentrating, do you ever notice you might go, and you're just like tap, like you go, or you're like, So we're going to just gently take our index finger and just gently touch the bottom of your lip, or maybe the top of your lip. Just so gently, just notice that. And then let the hand come away. And just for a brief, less than a minute, your mind was like, well, that's different. Because you're touching your lip, right? So it's like, that's interesting. And so it's taking your mind that's ruminating about all these things, maybe from the future or from the past, and it's bringing you to this moment, the now. All right. Another thing that can really help us focus and bring us back to the present moment instead of feeling that anxiety bubbling up is sound. Sound is very powerful too. So as we're just sitting here, I want you to just notice the sounds that are around you in your own home. Just notice them. Turn off all your other senses, and it might even help to just even close your eyes when we do this. You're noticing all of the sounds that are in front of you. Do you have sounds that are just directly behind you? Maybe you can hear something in the background. How about something out of your right ear? What are you hearing out of this right ear? Maybe there's something on this side of the room that has more of a sound than the other side. Just notice. And then what about this ear? This ear. Just listening out of that left ear. And then let go of that. And here's an interesting, I do this when I'm flying on a plane. I don't know if you've ever had the little earplugs or even your earbuds, but if you put them in without any like music or anything, it's interesting the sounds that you hear within your own body. And I have friends that have hearing aids, and they said it's really interesting when their hearing aids are out, they get to hear more sounds within their own body. So we're going to do that too, where we're just going to take our fingers and this little flap right here, we're just going to push our finger right there and do it on both of them. And you're just holding it. And if your index finger hurts, you can also use other fingers to do this, but we're just pushing in and we're just going to listen for the sounds that are within us. All right, let's give it a try. And then slowly start to take your fingers away. And we didn't even barely do that for a minute. And wasn't that interesting? Just listening within. Do you remember as a kid? Well, I still do it as an adult too. You take those big seashells and you hold them up to your ear. And you go, oh, I can hear the ocean. When you were doing this, it's almost as if you could hear the ocean within yourself. You might hear your heartbeat, you might hear other things, and then subtly in the background, you might hear other just very faint noises all around you. But by focusing inward, it allows the mind to be distracted from, again, that feeling of not knowing and not being in control. All right. So music is powerful for us too. Words to songs can lift us. All right. They can move us. If you're sitting in a symphony, you can feel all of the musical instruments, the sounds just swirling around you, and you get drawn in. And for a few moments, you're nowhere but just right there with all the sound around you. I have a tool that I like to use, and they're these little round things, and they play music that's just ambient, like bells, without really a pattern. And we're going to listen to these, and it's 3 minutes. It might seem like a really long time, 3 minutes, when we're right in the middle of it. So I'd like you to just get comfortable. And we're going to listen to these for 3 minutes. And as we're listening, just notice as your mind starts going, because it probably will after a while. And don't be upset, just be amazed that you noticed that your mind started to wander, and come back to listening, listening. So let's begin. Find yourself just kind of do a little wiggle in your chair and find yourself just kind of comfy. Take a breath in and slowly let it out. And let's just use our ears and listen to these sounds. Here we go. Start to notice the sounds that are just right around you in the room that you're sitting in. And then notice the sounds outside of the room that you're sitting in. Notice the sounds outside your house. How far can your ears go? Maybe down your street. Keep listening. And then slowly bring those sounds back in, just right within you. Can you hear any sounds just right within yourself at this time? Maybe your stomach or other little sounds. Good. So the distractions, when we are feeling in that place where we're feeling so anxious about things, we usually either go to the fight, flight, or freeze. And the freeze is when we feel that we really are stuck in our thoughts. So, to help with that, that's where the touch comes in, just, this, and maybe just touching your lip again, and then taking your thoughts that are stuck right here and distracting them through sound. And since there's usually sound all around us, it can be very helpful just to tune into that. Or put on some music. Maybe for you, that will really help lift and also help get you out of that ruminating pattern of just thinking about either the past or the future. So I'm hoping that just these, a few more tools for you to use, will be helpful. With respect, I bow deeply to you. Thank you. Thank you.